Hi everybody. Sorry that we didn't have a stream last week, but it's nice to have you with me this week. This is our last week of our short 4-week class that we have together. And so I just wanted to take a few minutes to go through those last materials that we have, talk about the closing assignment and the exam and all of that kind of stuff. I am a year older since I saw you last. I've eaten multiple cakes since I last saw you, so all wonderful things. I think I had a total of 3 cakes the week of my birthday. So it was a very good birthday week, and I did 2 more escape rooms, all fantastic things. And I've been camping. It's so nice that it's summer. So I know we've had a very short class together, but I'm glad that so many of you have been able to join me for these live streams, and I hope you've enjoyed the chance to kind of interact with me a little bit. No, thank you very much. It has been a very nice, even though it has been very short, class. So again, what I want to do for this last live stream is just kind of go over some of the requirements for this week. This week is short. Just as an official reminder, I'm going to put this here in the chat. Our class officially ends on Friday night of this week. So I know that all of our weeks have been Monday through Sunday. I know that's confusing. The school, for whatever reason, makes it end on Friday. And so the class ends Friday night at 11:59 p.m. So just something to keep in mind. Please make sure that you're getting things done a little bit earlier this week. I opened up this last week of materials last week so that you would have a little bit of extra time since it was a little short. And some of you have already taken the final and the closing assignment and you're done. You're probably not watching this right now if that's the case. But for the rest of you, as I said, what I will do is I'll take a few moments and just kind of go through the last of the things that we have going on this week. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I would be happy to answer them. As just a really quick note, last week, so overall, really nicely done on the materials for last week. I wanted to let you know that the lie was I have never been to Africa. So if you were guessing for fun in that discussion what the 2 truths and a lie were, I've never been to Africa before. I did once crochet an entire blanket, which I think is pretty impressive. Something you would never guess by looking at me, I actually am decent at crocheting and quilting. I have made multiple quilts for our family for the different holidays, and I'm good at crocheting. Yep, you wouldn't guess it, so it's kind of an easy lie in a way. And I do have 2 brothers, so I've never been to Africa. That was the one that was a lie, if you were curious. Thank you. It is a very time consuming thing to do. But yeah, I've made some Halloween and Christmas quilts and a Thanksgiving quilt. It was pretty cool, and my kids have them on their bed, so I feel very happy and proud of myself when I see them on their bed. But as I said, that was the kind of the one comment I wanted to make from last week. And reading through your self-assessments, a lot of you are very happy with how you're doing in the course, as you should be. A lot of you said that you're happy with your grade and the things that you're doing are working for you. So I'm glad you took a moment to reflect, and thank you for your honesty. A couple of you giving me little suggestions for how to improve on things. But this week we are finally in that last week. And again, it's been fast. But as always, we have 4 chapters. So this week we have chapters 13, 14, 15, and 16. So stress and health, psychological disorders, the therapies, and then social psychology. So finishing up with the last 4 chapters and content. So as always, make sure you read the chapter in the ebook, read through my lecture, watch the lecture video. Hopefully that's kind of become routine and you understand all the things that are expected. You also have 2 discussions as usual. So discussion number 7, if we take a quick look. Discussion number 7 is all about, how we react to stress. And so I have a really cool, this is my favorite. I shared it with you. It's somebody else's. I can't take credit, but I found it on YouTube and have shared it with you. But I shared with you, this one is a forest visualization exercise. It's one of my favorites. I do it all the time. It's like 10 minutes long, but it's walking through a forest, so I love it. But you're going to do a relaxation exercise. You're going to read the articles on stress. And you're going to talk a little bit about how you did with the exercise, how stress affects the body, how you cope with your stress, a topic that college students are notoriously familiar with. The last discussion number 8, If I click on that one, for discussion number 8, you're looking at social psychology, which is the last chapter that we have. You're going to perform some random acts of kindness, which can be with people that you know, or it can be with strangers if you're out and about in the world. Please don't feel like you have to go out to do this. If you feel comfortable staying home and that's where you're at with everything, feel free to do it with people that you live with or people that you know. You're going to talk about a time you were a victim of prejudice or discrimination, or if you've never been a victim of either, you can talk about someone in your life that you know or an example of it in the media, and then some strategies that you can employ to help reduce prejudice and discrimination. So those are your last 2 discussions. Don't forget to not only reply to my questions, but also to a classmate, like always. The one thing that we do have a little bit differently this week is you have a closing assignment. So we have exam number 4, which is just a 4th exam. Exam number 4 is on the last 4 chapters, 13, 14, 15, and 16. But in order to satisfy that cumulative element, what I've done is giving you a little writing assignment. So rather than testing you on everything from the semester or from our class, instead you just have a short writing assignment allowing you to reflect back. You're welcome. Cumulative tests are the worst. Exam number 4 is right here. It's on the ebook site. It's the same format and style as the others. You have a study guide just like you have for the other tests. So just like with the first 3, make sure you know all these terms from chapter 13, 14, 15, and 16. And if it were me, as I've told you multiple times, I would probably write or type all these terms out, have it in front of me, and that would make it really simple. A lot of you have been just doing really fantastically on the exams. Again, I think they're very straightforward, maybe too easy. I probably should make them a little bit harder, but I never want to trick you. I want to set you up for success. So exam number 4, same style and format as the first 3. Just make sure you're studied and prepared. The one difference, as I said, is you do have that closing assignment. So let's take a few minutes and talk about that just to make sure that you're feeling clear about it. So if you click right here, here are the instructions for the closing assignment. And you'll notice that this is worth 25 points. So it's more than a discussion, less than an exam. So you definitely want to make sure that you're spending some time on it. Here's all the instructions. What you're going to be doing is thinking about the content that we've covered in these 4 short weeks we've had together. And you're going to come up with 5 specific ways that the content from this class could connect and apply to your life in some way. And so what I've done is I made a concept list that I'll show you in a minute. It's on the last page. You're going to choose 5 different terms that we've covered or concepts that we've covered throughout the semester. And what you'll do is you'll follow this format. So more than being a paper, it's kind of a very specific format that I want you to follow. You'll pick a term. So let's say you choose positive reinforcement. So you'd say term, positive reinforcement. Definition, you can copy this verbatim from the lecture or from the textbook. And then what I want you to do is take a paragraph and describe how could you use your knowledge of positive reinforcement to help you in your life in some way. So let's say, like me, you have children. And you could say, I have learned that through positive reinforcement, if I reward my children for things I want them to do, they will continue to keep doing them. And so what I could do is positively reinforce them by giving them a piece of candy when they don't fight with each other. Or I could make a chart and keep track and then give them something as a way of rewarding them with stickers. Right? So I'm looking to see that you can take a concept that we've covered and use it and apply it in your life in some way. And so what you'll do is you'll follow a very specific format. There'll be 5 of these. It should be roughly 2 pages or so altogether, typed. And you're going to be submitting it right here where it says Start Assignment. And so if you click on that, it will allow you to upload a file, and you can do a doc, docx, PDF, or RTF. So just make sure it's one of those formats. And what will happen is I've kind of been grading these throughout the week as people turn them in. So just as soon as you have it done, feel free to submit it. And it's worth up to 25 points. You can see there's a rubric right here, full points if you cover all the things and follow the format. And, you know, going down from there if you maybe don't go into it enough, or you don't follow the correct format, or it's just not detailed enough to get full credit. If you go back 1 page here, what you can see underneath it is I've given you a concept list and a sample. So if you click on the concept list, what I did is I just went through all of the topics that we've covered in this class. And I wrote like the big ones out. So from chapter 1, here are some of the big ones, chapter 2, 3, 4, and so on, all the way up to this week. And so these are some of the big concepts and key terms that we've covered. It doesn't have to be on here, but just to kind of give you a little bit of guidance and some direction in case you were feeling overwhelmed by everything that we've gone over. So that's a place to start. Starting to get dark out here a little bit. Hopefully you can still see me just fine. If not, I'm still here. But, and then underneath it, sorry, I clicked on something. I gave you a sample. And on the sample, what you'll see is term 1, egocentrism, definition, application. Term 2, negative reinforcement, definition, application. So you don't need to worry about transitions between these. It's not necessarily a paper as much as it's really kind of covering these in that specific format. No worries, Amina. Thank you for joining us. You can always go back and watch the recording later to get the beginning if you need to. But that is the biggest thing that is due this week that's different. So make sure you do the closing assignment in addition to the 2 discussions and the exam. There's also a little anonymous closing survey. Please be honest, it's anonymous. I have no idea who has submitted what. It's not worth any points. If you hated something in the class, please tell me. If you loved something, please tell me. I'm constantly trying to make the class better in any way that I can. So please be honest. I really appreciate your feedback. And then we also do have an extra credit, the last of the 4 extra credits, which I will give you in just a moment here. But are there... Yeah, you can always watch the recording later, especially since you are subscribed. Yes, you're totally fine. If you need to go, please, by all means. You know, these aren't mandatory, and we're here and you're subscribed, so you're all set. Okay. And on that note, don't forget, if you have the opportunity, if your subscription expired, because they're only good for a month. So if your subscription expired, if you could renew it one last time so that I can give you credit for being here today, that would be fantastic. You're welcome to stay subscribed to me after this, but the class will be over, so you know, it's probably not going to be all that helpful for you. But thank you for those of you who did that. It saved me a lot of time to not have to look you up, so I really do appreciate that. If you aren't subscribed, make sure you put your first and last name in the chat at some point before we're done here, so that I can mark you down. And if you're watching this later, if you're subscribed, it will still show up on my end that you watched it, and I will be able to give you that credit. Okay, so again, big reminder, don't forget that our class officially ends Friday night. So Friday the 17th, in 4 days. It ends at 11:59 p.m. I will send out a couple of reminders just to make sure it's on your mind, but inevitably somebody will miss it. So just don't let that be you. It ends on Friday night. And then I will give you the Twitch extra credit question here in a moment. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to put them in the chat. But let me give you that extra credit question. I copied it down to save myself from typing it out. I've learned that I don't type and speak well at the same time. I'm sure I'm not alone on that. But your extra credit question for this week, so Twitch extra credit number 4, is what are norms? And give me a specific example. And this is something that very much connects to social psychology that we're covering this week. But what are norms? And give me a specific example. When you're ready to answer that, you will go to Canvas and click on extra credit number 4 right here. And then that will bring up this area where you can click on Start Assignment up at the top. And then in the text box, you can type your response. And when you're ready, go ahead and hit Submit. And it'll give you that little confetti burst. And are those pandas on a unicycle? How random. It's like a panda riding a unicycle. I don't know who comes up with those. But this is due by Friday night at 11:59 p.m. It's worth those 5 points. Several of you have done all of these. 20 points is a lot of extra credit, so I'm glad that so many of you have taken advantage. But don't forget to do that. Otherwise, as I mentioned, the class ends Friday night, so just make sure all of the materials from this week are due and submitted by that point. Unlike other weeks, if you email me like Friday saying that you had an emergency, final grades are due within 48 hours of our class ending, so I can't give you extra time. So please plan ahead. Please make sure you get everything done. This is the 1 week that I really can't give any leeway at all. So make sure that you are submitting discussion 7 and 8, just submitting the closing assignment, exam number 4, the closing class survey, which is anonymous, and then if you want to do the extra credit, it is here for you. Don't forget that your score when you take in the exam on the ebook page won't come over automatically, but as soon as the class ends on Friday, probably Saturday or Sunday, we'll be grading all of those, uploading your scores, giving you a final grade, and then submitting those grades on Monday. So on that note, it is a really good time right now to be double checking your grades. So if you have a moment today or tomorrow or in the next couple of days, go to the grades tab right here and just make sure that everything's correct. Look, I have a shameful 0, right? I have failed my own class, but make sure that everything is right. If you're missing a score for an exam that you took, let me know. If I accidentally put it in wrong, please tell me. If you're missing something that should be there, now is a great time to let me know. Once the class ends and I submit final grades, it's very difficult to go back and change them. So please let me know now if anything is off, and we can take a moment to address it together before the class is over. I do give a 1.5% or 10-point leeway. So if you're within 10 points or 1.5% of the higher grade, I do round up. But other than that, it's just all based off of points. But please let me know if anything is wrong. Please feel free to email me if you have any questions as we go through this last week. Thank you so much again for all of you who have joined me weekly for these live streams. I appreciate your company. As soon as we're done tonight, what I will do is I will download this and I will post it right here where it says recording of week number 4. It might take an hour or two to download and upload, but I will post that a little bit later tonight. It's getting darker and darker. I keep hearing sounds behind me. I'm like, if something pops up behind me, somebody let me know. I've watched too many scary movies. But I think that is everything that I wanted to share with you. If you have any questions, I will hang out for a little bit. Thank you all again for a very wonderful, brief class. If you are interested in psychology and want to take other ones, I do teach abnormal psychology, human sexuality, and research methods most semesters, and some of those are online and follow a very similar format. So if you liked this class or want to take another psych class, feel free to join me. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your summer. It feels like it's going so quickly, like it's going to be over like that, right? I hope not. But thank you all for being here. Thank you for our class. As I said, I will hang out for another like 5-10 minutes or so. If you have any questions for me, thank you as well. Thank you. Thank you. You know, I know it's been fast, but it's been great. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to minimize this so that I'm not staring at myself, because then I start, you know, just staring, right? But, oh, that's really sweet of you to say. Your very favorite class at Moore Park. Thank you. That's very kind of you. And for a summer class, that's nice, because summer classes they're intense. 4 weeks is a short class. It's really, really compacted in there. But thank you again. I'm going to minimize this. Have a wonderful night, a wonderful week. Please don't forget that the class ends on Friday. And yeah, have a wonderful rest of your summer. Stay safe. Have fun. I'm going on a cruise the first week of July to Mexico. I'm very excited. I plan to eat myself silly on the cruise. 4-night cruise, I should gain at least 8 pounds. 2 pounds a day is my goal. I can't wait. Oh, look at another person. Thank you so much. Like that's fantastic. And that's very kind of you to say. I try to be very organized, so I'm glad it pays off. I think it's a good goal too, right? I went on a week-long cruise and gained like 6 pounds. I can do better. That is my goal for that cruise that first week of July. So, all right. And again, I am still here, just so not dose. What? Thank you, dose much. What? I'm confused. I'm getting that you're saying thank you, but I was confused by that a little bit. But no worries, you're welcome. Thank you all for joining me again. And I will be checking my email all week. You know, if you think of something, please feel free. Oh, thank you. And thank you and thank you. I'm very excited for it. It just goes to Catalina and Ensenada. But The food, oh my gosh, stop it with the food, right? The last one we went on, I ordered two desserts every night. It was amazing, and I cannot wait to do it again. Right? Two desserts. They had this like molten lava chocolate cake, and I'm hoping they have it again because it was delicious. And again, if you think of anything between now and the end of the class, please feel free to email me. Otherwise, most of you logged out. You logged out very quickly, which is good. That means that hopefully you're feeling good and you're not confused. So what I'm going to do here in a moment, I'm just going to close this up and then I will start the download and upload process and we'll post that video for you within the next couple of hours so that you can watch it later if you need to. But thank you again. Take care of yourselves. And I hope I see some of you either in person or in another online class in the future.